All right, up here at the north, a very strong Terran player won a Courage, has his Brood War Pro Gaming license. He is
FXOpen.
formerly known as All About You in StarCraft 2. His opponent, a pretty good Protoss player on the team StarTale. Tried to squeeze that one out there.
Squirtle is a very confident player. He's played in a lot of different tournaments in StarCraft 2.
He has. He's played all over the place, and he's really shown a good level of confidence. I'm glad that you said that. That's actually a really good way to sum up basically his personality. Is he's not overconfident, but he's like Nada. You know, he's not going to get nervous.
Yep.
He's just not.
And he's a very mannered guy. He's always just... I always ask him how he's doing before matches, and he's just like, yep, I'm going to win.
FX close. Just wants to close it out. Making that little Squirtle drawing there. Don't worry, though. I'm sure Moonin will take him out.
We'll see about that.
I love our little caster biases here. Former StarTale on FX.
I was formerly on StarTale when I first came to Korea.
Yeah, I actually was in the clan Nex for a while, playing on the Korean server from the US.
I was playing on the Korean server from Korea.
Well, you were cooler than me, and now I'm as cool as you. I guess we're the same now.
So we did have a little probe dance around the barracks. It's forcing the extra SCV to be off the mineral line. Just a little bit of less mining time from the Terran player. It gives the Protoss a slight advantage.
Indeed it does. Now, Probe just wants to be annoying here. It does see the gas. That's very, very important. That's always the most essential thing to see with your scouting probe. Because if you don't see gas, it obviously means your opponent's going to be going for a fast expand, which is very rare to see on this map. And back at home, of course, Squirtle has taken his first gas. Now, I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to do. The safest build to do on a map like this, in my opinion, where historically Terrans have done one base all-ins, is to actually go for a one gate into robo type of build, get that robotics up, and really use that observer to scout. And not only that, but if your opponent seems like he's going for a one base timing attack, you need that robotic space sometimes to hold those. So it's very, very important.
The watchtowers on this map are also quite important to hold. It does give you vision across the other route that you can get from base to base. If the Terran player goes siege tanks, you can really control a lot of the area that the Protoss player can't control.
Exactly, because when you have those tanks on top of the watchtower, you have tons of vision, and it's very difficult for the Protoss army to assault those tanks. They have to walk around the ramps. They're taking so much fire during that time. And there goes the factory for Moonin. Meanwhile, Squirtle has taken a second gas, and it looks like he is going to be going for a one-gate robo-type build, given that he is not added any gateways, just making a stalker right now. Continuing to scout around with his probe, though, trying to make sure his opponent isn't trying to hide any sort of tech, maybe hiding some Banshees. Always good to do that with one of your probes.
And a reactor going down for the Terran players. Most likely going to be trying to get out a few extra Marines here, just to bolster up that army that he really needs to be able to fight any sort of gateway units of the Protoss player. But we do have a Stargate.
Yeah, it's going to be a Stargate. Now, this is interesting. It's a little bit late to be getting a Stargate. I think he probably could have gotten that just a little bit faster if he was going for this type of build. That's why I was thinking maybe it was going to be a robo. But even so, he is going to, of course, catch that SCV scout off guard. But most likely, he's going to make Phoenixes out of this. He can do some sort of Void Ray type of all-in, which we've seen players do on this map in the past. But I think it's going to be a Phoenix opening to try to control the map. We may see just one Void Ray. Okay, so he's going to add 2 gates, so this actually could be an all-in. At the very least, if you get a Void Ray, it gives you vision of the high ground. It was very unusual to see Void Rays in this type of scenario where your opponent's already gotten gas, and also he's got no real wall if he doesn't have barracks at the top of his ramp, because you can use that to charge up. If you know your opponent is teching, it's a little weird when you do this because you don't have a robo. What if he goes Cloaked Banshees? What if he gets that one Viking out and it kind of shuts down your strategy? So it is a little bit difficult to do this type of build in this scenario, but that makes it unpredictable at the same time.
That is very true. We do have a Void Ray coming out here from Squirtle, and then from the Terran player we also have a Banshee coming out, but with no Cloak. However, he is saving up gas, so we might see a Cloak coming out very, very soon. And if he does, then he does have an advantage because there is less detection from the Protoss player.
That's true. And I was just going to mention the probe did come up and saw the bunker that's being constructed right now. So there is going to be a bunker there. That does make it relatively easier to defend, because with the bunker, the Void Ray and the Marines actually have the same range. Because for those of you guys who didn't know, I actually find a lot of people don't know this. If you put a Marine in bunker, it gets 1 extra range. So a little tip out there for the nubs.
Same thing for Ghosts or Marauders as well.
Any infantry put in the bunker gets an additional range.
SCVs can range repair then too.
No, not quite. Not quite, Trevor. Don't give nubs the wrong idea. All right, this Banshee relatively vulnerable right now. Is going to try to target down some of these stalkers.
Oh my god, that is huge. taking out that Banshee is going to completely kill the mobility of the Terran army. He's going to have to fight around this bunker, and that's about all he can do right now. Just try to zone out a little bit, but he does lose a Marine in pushing that Void Ray back a little bit. Loses another Marine.
Yeah, Marines falling like flies here. The bunker taking some serious hits, but so is the Void Ray. It looks like that supply depot will fall no matter what, but there is a siege tank out. Another Banshee is on the way to help out as well, and it's really difficult right now for Squirtle to come up the ramp. Even if he takes out the depot and takes out some of these SCVs, it's very difficult for him to actually break up the ramp, especially with that siege tank out there as well.
But Squirtle, a very stable player, he does know that he doesn't need to run up the ramp. He just needs to hold the Terran player in for a little bit, try to get in a few more reinforcements, keep the Banshee count down, and he should be able to do whatever he needs otherwise.
Yeah, and actually, Moonin was supply blocked and choked there for a second, didn't even make another supply depot on time. Now he's in rough shape, and now there are enough units to break up the ramp. Moonin is in trouble, the bunker falls. There are 2 charged up Void Rays killing his units, and this could be the end for FXO here today. In this Team League match, the Stalker taking out that siege tank. And the SCVs fall very quickly to those Zealots, and I think this unfortunately may be the end. When you have Zealots, Stalkers, and Void Rays camping your production facilities, it's almost impossible to do anything about it, and the Viking does come out, is going to try to deal with that Void Ray, and the Manor Nexus by StarTale Squirtle to counter what Oz did earlier, and GG!
Wow, that was a very good effort from FXO today.
Indeed it was. StarTale played well, and it was a pretty close day of matches. I have to say, I don't think people expected FXO to do as well as they did. But
4-2, a very respectable score.
And remember, guys, this is just the first time FXO's played, and a lot of our players haven't been here for very long. So
I think StarTale also recognized that a little bit, that the nerves from FXO might be a little high. They did send out Squirtle for the last player, and he is known for putting on a little bit of early pressure, which he did in the PvP against Oz, and then he just did in a PvT against Moonin. So
very true. Well, I gotta say that build order was pretty good. It's not an uncommon build to see. And I think we may have miscounted, Torch.
Did we miscount?
How many players on FXO lost?
I don't know. It's an American team, so too many. And by American, I mean non-Korean.
Don't count them out yet, guys. You guys are like, oh, FXO lost. No, we're totally tricking you guys. They're actually still in this, man. They've got another player coming out. Who's it going to be? I won't tell you guys. It's a secret. You guys
Except to you.
You guys just, I know you actually probably all the internet was like, Wolf is so stupid. He doesn't even know how to count. No.
I can't count.
Well, it's okay.
I use calculators for everything.
Yeah, well, it's all right. I mean, you can't use a calculator to actually like count numbers, can you? How do you do that?
You just add the ones.
There's like a tally
plus
function on your TI-89. Yeah. You just press a little tally, and it just like makes a little line, and you press it, and after the 5th one, it does a little slash mark.
My smartphone does everything for me because I check everything out at m.gomtv.net where it's all nicely laid out and counts for me, so I don't have to do it anymore.
So it's not a trick. It's not a trap.
That part of my brain has disappeared.
Well, maybe I was so good at that fake it tricked you out there, Torch.
Ooh, just like Squirtle tricked out all the FXO players.
All right. Well, that game, a lot of that game came down to the supply block of Moonin. Didn't have any more units, and that was the reason why he decided once Squirrel realized I can just break up the ramp. He just did.
Also, taking out that Banshee early on was huge. I don't know how the Stalkers actually did get that range in there. It is 4-2. You're confusing me. Wow. All right, so we do have
so confused
a
right
4-2 from FXO, like I did think. You're almost as big of a troll as John.
I know. Okay, so
I was told not to plug John's Twitter, but you guys should go message him at Junkka, JUNKK83. Tweet at him constantly. He loves it, although he says he hates it.
I'll tell you guys what happened. Basically, we thought that, I mean, like, the game was over, and I was like, yeah, FXO lost, and then we didn't have, like, a ceremony or anything like that for them, so there wasn't, like, a big, a StarTale wins, and I think Torch got a little confused, and I was like, yeah, dude, we got another player, and, like, I look at the screen, and we loaded up the map for the next matches. I was like, hey, I am versus FOU, and Torch just got so confused, just destroyed you, tore you down to the ground. All right, so we're going to have an interview here with the StarTale coach, most likely. Just a minute. I'll have that translated for you guys.
5팀을 맞아서 스타테일이 4대2로 기분 좋은 첫 승을 가져갔습니다. 지금 스타테일의 감독님과 MVP 선수 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 먼저 원종욱 감독님 승리 정말 축하드립니다. 정말 기분 좋은 순간인데요.
Congratulations.
말씀 해주시죠.
네, 감사합니다. 일단 먼저 저희 선수들이 오늘 첫 출전한 선수도 있고 그 다음에 그 대회 경험이 많지 않은 선수들이 그 앞쪽에 좀 배치가 돼갖고 출전을 했었는데요.
Well, they're firstly players that played in the GSTL.
해줘서 예, 기분 좋게 이렇게 승리한 것 같고요. 그리고 또 박현우 선수가 이렇게 기분 좋은 2승을 따줘서 예, 경기.
So he said the players performed better than he expected, so he feels happy about it. And you, of course, used players that played in the GSTL before.
큰 보탬이 되었는데요. 그 사실 FXO 팀의 실력이 어떨지 굉장히 베일에 쌓여 있어서 큰 관심이 모아졌었잖아요. 직접 게임 해볼 때 어떠신가요?
FXO
How do you feel about
절대
FXO's skill
약하다고
level?
생각하지 않았고요. 제가 독일 대회 갔을 때 FXO 팀의 문글레이드 선수랑도 게임을 해봤고 학수용도 잘한다고 생각하고 있었기 때문에 방심하지
played
않은
Moonglade
게 이길
before?
수 있었던 것 같아요.
네, 방심하지 않은 게 결정적으로 큰 작용이 있습니다. 네, 시즌 첫 시작인데요. 이번 시즌에 임하는 각오 한마디 들어볼 수 있을까요?
제가 GSL 개인
What's your
리그에서는
motive for
항상
this season?
일찍 떨어져서 좋은 모습 보여드리지 못했는데 이번 GSTL은 꼭 잘해서 저희 팀 우승시키고 싶어요.
네, 열심히 살펴보도록
I got
하겠습니다.
knocked out really
네,
early in
마지막으로
the GSL, but I
감독님에게
wanted to do a good job in the GSTL.
팬들에게 한
Like
말씀
his chance, his
해주시죠.
opportunity.
네.
Since he
일단
lost
오늘
early
기분
in Korea.
좋게 승리로 첫 스타트를 끊었고요. 남은 4경기 열심히 준비해서 이번 GSTL은 꼭 저희 팀이 우승할 수 있게끔 준비하겠습니다.
He
응원해
said,
주셔서
we
감사합니다.
did well today, and
네,
we're
앞으로의
going to
선전
practice well and do well
기대하겠습니다.
in our future matches as well.
네, 이상 최하나였습니다. 이인환 캐스터 나와주시죠.
It's very good words from StarTale. They were a little overconfident coming into this match, but it proved to be just confident enough. It did end 4-2. Very good, respectable showing from FXO. But I do expect a bit more from StarTale in the future. Hopefully a few 4-0s coming down these next few weeks.
Especially after the coach interview earlier where he said the other teams would have been a breeze. And, you know, that last game, I mean, it ended up working out for him, but that kind of build can work very poorly in certain situations, like Cloak Banshees, for example. If Moonin hadn't lost that one Banshee, things would have been very different. I don't know if you guys remember when Keen moved up to Codas. I believe he was a player. He played against a Protoss, and there was a similar all-in. He had one Banshee, and he kept repairing it and just barely held it off. And it's that one Banshee. Banshee does so much damage. It can fly. It's very mobile.
Yes.
And that one unit could have really, really helped him hold that. But these things do
Unfortunately, not
happen.
today.
And sometimes Torch gets trolled so hard he can't even think straight.
I don't know what
He's
to
just literally
do.
laughing. But all right.
That is the end of our first match. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. But we do have another match coming up in a few moments here. It is going to be Incredible Miracle versus FOU for our Utopia. It will be a 10-minute break. So go get a drink, come back, get ready for some more GSTL action.
All right. See you guys in 10.